Hey, y'all, listen. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome into the building. It's Wednesday night trending topics. And yes, we got stuff to talk about. It's the Sean Combs and Sean Carter. It's a Combs and Carter night. We got stuff to talk about. Now, listen. You know, I've been telling y'all for months that I believe in due process. I believe in due process for Diddy. I believe in due process for Jay-Z. This whole situation is a hot mess. I'm not saying everybody, because there is possibly some true victims out there. But with all the smoke, we'll probably never get to see who a true victim is, because we got all the shenanigans going on. And shenanigans going on from some people who shouldn't even be doing this. The shenanigans started, even though y'all threw darts and daggers at me, the shenanigans started with the federal government, the prosecutors over there. They wanted Diddy so bad that they was throwing mud in the water. It's a mess. And then we got these lawyers. How do you play around with your degree like that? Listen, school is not easy. And it takes years out of your life. Just undergrad school is 4 years. 4 years of your life. Studying, reading, no matter what degree you're going for. 4 years. And a whole lot of money. And then if you go on to specialize in something, it could be another 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is you're trying to study. Becoming a doctor is a whole lot more time. You going to law school, it's more years on your schooling. Why would anybody play around with their degree like that? I don't know. But this Tony Busby, he seems to be playing a whole lot of games. A whole lot of games. But where he messed up is when he wanted to play the games with Jay-Z. That Quinn Emanuel firm, oh, it's deep. They got lawyers on top of lawyers. They got paralegals on top of paralegals. And when you come for them, they stay on ready. They ain't got to get ready. They stay on ready. Tony Busby, I don't know what kind of firm he running over there, because his paperwork is sloppy. He doesn't have the manpower as a Quinn Emanuel. And I don't think he's ready to deal with a law firm as such. So now, because he got himself into this dogfight with Jay-Z and his lawyers, he has to go back and backtrack and clean up the lawsuits that he did against Diddy. So one of Diddy accusers speaks. And this man is all over the place. Yeah, and y'all know from the beginning, when I read some of these lawsuits and I saw some of these press conferences, I told y'all straight up from the moment I saw it, a hot mess. And this victim is no different. This victim said he was hired to do security First of all, Diva would never be doing security nowhere. I'm 5 feet tall. That's it. Not 5'1", not 5'2", I'm 5 feet tall. Now, we ain't going to tell you what the scale said. I'm working on that. Okay? I'm working on that. But yes, I'm 5 feet tall. 100 and some pounds. Okay? Yeah. So I'm not going to be security nowhere. Trying to defend people, and I'm only 5 feet tall. As soon as somebody tall will come in my face, what am I going to do? So this security, he said he was hired to do security at a white party. In the initial complaint, he said the white party was in 2006. So the white party was in 2006. He had to come back and amend it and said, oh, the white party was in 2007. Why? Because there was no white party by Diddy in 2006. So now his memory is getting clearer now. Now he came back and said, oh, the white party was in 2007. He said he couldn't get married because he was so traumatized. All of this that happened to him at the hands of Diddy. And then he comes back in the amended one and says he was married and he just didn't tell his wife. The lies, the lies, the lies. It's a mess. It's a hot mess. But I want to take it basic and keep it basic and say this. How you working? You supposed to be security and you drinking on the job. Where they do that at? You drinking on the job. Then you take drink number one and you say, oh, this drink's strong. This drink is strong. Ain't something. Ooh, ooh. Meantime, you supposed to be security and you had one drink and you said the drink was strong. Then you take another drink after that. The math ain't mathing for me, but we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about Jay-Z pass. Listen, everybody got a pass. Yes, we do. We all got a pass. But sometimes your past comes back to haunt you. See, I'm going to talk general for a minute here. A lot of men, they want to be in these streets playing around with somebody else's sister, mother, cousin, daughter. They want to play around with other people's family members. But then one day they want to wake up. They want to marry somebody young who nobody had a chance to play around with. And then they want to start a clean slate and act like everything they left behind didn't happen. You know, every now and then I try to give out little tidbits, and I ain't saying I'm the know-all be-all. I like to give out little tidbits and little memos. You can't rewrite history. If you was with Regina, Becky, Shaniqua, Diva, and you left us behind with your seed, now because you married somebody else, you can't ignore us and the kids you made with us. And then think you're going to go in your little home with the white picket fence and your dog and your wife and your 2 kids from that wife and think everything is going to be blessed. You're a fool. You're a fool. And you and your wife is delusional if you think y'all going to build a house of greatness when you left a whole lot of mess behind. Are you stupid? It don't work like that. You got to have some atonement. You got to do right by the stuff you left behind. You got to try to clean that thing up. But ignoring it doesn't mean that it didn't happen and it doesn't exist. But a lot of men do that. They play around. They don't care who they get pregnant. Then they leave you. You broken, left a broken home behind. You got to explain to your little one why daddy don't want to come around, why daddy annoying you, but daddy got a whole new family. They've been to Disney, they've been here, they've been this, they've been that. They got everything. And daddy acting like you the plague. Life don't work like that. At some point, your past is going to come back to haunt you. Everybody like to talk about manifesting. You reap what you sow. That's a point blank in a period. You reap what you sow. You messing around with other people's kids. You treating them dirty. You doing them dirty. It's going to come back to slap you in the face one of these days. I don't know what Beyonce and them did or didn't do. I don't know what Diddy did or didn't do. But I do know this. You reap what you sow. And you want to talk about, not for nothing, I'll do generic right now with Jay-Z. You want to talk about the innocence of the kids. Your friend, Diddy, was being accused of 1,000 things. Did you call the little Combs twins and tell them to keep their head up? You was hanging with their daddy for a long time, thick as thieves with him. Did you call them and tell them keep their head up? Because they're innocent kids. And somebody had to explain to them. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this Rymir. He's been around for a long time, like just lingering out there on the outskirts, claiming that Jay-Z is his daddy, and he just wants to know. There's a lot of kids out in this world who don't know who their biological father is, and they just want clarity. They just want to know. There's grown adults in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, be like, they just want to know, who's my dad? And so Rymir has been trying for a long time to prove that Jay-Z is the daddy. Now, Jay-Z has been running in circles with this Rymir situation. Don't want to take a DNA test. I did a video earlier, and you know I love the comments, and I read the comments, and I look through them. I respond when I can. And somebody said, you know, Diva, Jay-Z don't have to take no test. Well, here's the thing. Would I rather somebody running around for a decade, and every time they give this somebody a mic, that somebody want to say that I'm their mother? Would I rather that? Or would I just say, tap the vein, take my blood, pluck a piece of hair out my head, and prove that this ain't my kid, so this kid can move on and leave me alone? Now, I always give the benefit of the doubt. But you avoiding a DNA test, it has me raising my eyebrows. Like, why go through all that and avoid it? Why fight the courts? Why? When all you got to do is tap my vein and let's get the DNA test back. Now, listen, people. I know we love Beyonce. I ain't got nothing against Beyonce. I love her too. But if my husband, somebody tapped on my door and said, listen, I got your husband, baby. And I'm going to talk to my husband. Is this your kid? Maybe my husband's got, I don't know, Diva. Well, let's go take a blood test. Let's go take a blood test. But I'm not going to be sitting in my house and you denying your own flesh and blood. We're going to confirm this thing. And if the kid is yours, I'm going to tell you to do right by your seed. Do right by your seed. Take care of your kid. That's what I'm going to tell my husband. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this Carmen Bryan. Because Diddy passed. I'm saying Diddy because now Jay-Z passed is creeping up to haunt him. Now, let me back up to Rymir for a minute, because many people are saying, well, he don't have to take it. Well, see, Rymir's mother was only 16 when she had him, and Jay-Z was 22. So you may not want to take the test, because then it may prove that you had some type of obsession with dealing with the young people. And maybe that's why he's avoiding this DNA test. I don't know. We're just talking. We're just having a conversation here. I'm just saying. They back this thing up to say he met Beyonce when she was only 15, 16. And then they allegedly did not get together until she was of age. But let me get to this Carmen Bryan. She was messing with Jay-Z and Nas at the same time. She says that she got pregnant with Jay-Z baby, but then she lost the baby. So let me see, how are we going to talk about this Carmen Bryan? So Carmen, you know, when they came out and said that Jay-Z, you know, was accused of XYZ, she used that as an opportunity to pretty much, I'm going to paraphrase, say, you know, Jay-Z is a monster. Because Jay-Z wrote a song about her when he was going back and forth with Nas. He wrote a song about her, and the song wasn't that pretty. Talked about how he slept with her, he left the used condom in the child's car seat, yada, yada, who. So now she uses this opportunity when he's accused of something serious to rehash her bitterness. Respectfully, I'm saying respectfully, we're talking here. Okay? Carmen, now's not the time. And I say now is not the time because, listen, you did what you did. Everybody wants a refund on their life that they chose. I'm confused about it. Sometimes we just got to accept, you know what, I did that. I shouldn't have did that. It was a life lesson and I'm going to move on. She mad that he wrote this song about her and she felt highly disrespected. But meantime, you was messing with Jay-Z and Nas at the same time. Nas had to find out when Jay-Z wrote a song. So you disrespected Nas. Jay-Z disrespected you. We gonna call it a wash, girlfriend. You was living in the zone of disrespect. What did you think you was going to get back? I'm confused about how people think they're going to put lemons out there and they think they're going to get back roses. You was disrespecting somebody and somebody was disrespecting you. Okay, let's move on. But that's right, KG, call it a wash. Hashtag call it a wash. It's even. You got your Carmen back kind of instantly. It was messed up. But that's what you did. You was for the streets and you got some street stuff happen to you. But now she's coming out talking about, you know, Jay-Z and Jay-Z this and this, that, and the other. Listen, just because a man is a jerk, that doesn't mean that said man it did XYZ things to people. There's a lot of men, they're jerks, they're nasty. But does that mean that everything they do is sinister? Diddy is definitely a jerk. Arrogant. Does that mean that every single thing everyone is accusing him of he did? I personally think, and I'm about to let the people in the building so we could talk. I personally think in the entertainment industry, they have so much money that they get bored. And once they get bored, they all start sleeping with each other. All of them. I don't think nobody's removed. All of them. And maybe there's a smidgen of a few that says, nah, we ain't doing that. But I think all of them participated in orgies. All of them was wife swapping, girlfriend swapping, boyfriend swapping. But you know, you always going to have that person in the group that take things too far. I think that person was Diddy. Got to always up the ante and take something to the next level. You like, hold on, we didn't want to go there. But these people that are coming out so far, do I think that, you know, their stories is sketchy? Yeah, I do. You security, you couldn't even secure yourself, and you was hired to secure the other people. It just don't make sense to me. It don't. You got all of the other details right, but you can't remember when what year it happened. If you was married or unmarried, y'all gotta miss me with the nonsense. Jay-Z, you care about the kids, care about all the kids. There's urban legends out there that you had kids before Beyonce. Care about all the kids. And if they're not yours, I'll accept that. But tap your vein. Let them pluck a piece of hair. And put this boy out of his misery. Either you are not the father. That's it. But avoiding it? Now, you know what? Wait, Lakeisha said the only person she said that didn't sleep around is Tamara Mori. Is Tamara, I'll always get Tia and Tamara wrong. Is Tamara the one that's married, that's still married out of the twins? If so, I could get with you on that. If that's the one, I always confuse their names. Listen, guys, y'all know what I need in that chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got things to talk about. We're talking about the two Seans, Sean Combs and Sean Carter. Ain't it something that these two have the same initials in the same first name, just spelled differently? Yes. Diddy victim speaks. Jay-Z pass comes to haunt him. We're about to talk about it. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Hey, choo, choo,
hey, Wayne. Choo, choo, choo.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, let me get into this. You know, we're going to first go to this Diddy victim. And we're going to hear what I call the nonsense in this whole thing. So let me share a screen. And I don't understand why people are risking their reputation. Let me tell you this. I know I tell you all the time, and I'm going to tell you again. Don't get hung up on no money. Don't get hung up on no money. I promise you that it's not going to be worth it. And I'm not saying don't be afraid to make money. Don't be afraid to become a millionaire. I'm not saying none of that. But don't do it. Don't do it. And it's going to compromise your life, your integrity, and everything else. No, make your honest money, but don't sell your soul to the devil to get it. Because once you sell your soul to the devil, you can't get it back. I promise you that. And don't be coming to the general public for no refund and you sold your soul to the devil. Good luck. You on your own. Let me share this screen. Where is this victim at, this story? Let me see. Oh, here we go. So alleged Diddy victim said, I was screaming, telling him to stop. Man speaks out and files amended lawsuit. Okay. So this is a Tony Busby special, y'all. One of the men suing Diddy is telling his story on camera for the first time, describing the alleged R he claims went down at the white party in the Hamptons. The man is suing anonymously and just filed an amendment to the suit he first filed back in October. Remember, every Sunday in October, Busby was just dropping the lawsuits, claiming he was hired to work security at one of Diddy's parties in 2007. He was hired to work security. And at some point, Diddy offered him a drink, which he alleges was laced with something. So your security, you get offered a drink, and as a professional, you don't say no. You got to miss me with the nonsense. Let's listen.
At one of the infamous white parties that was thrown by Sean Combs in the Hamptons. What was that experience like?
At first, he was incredibly friendly, very gracious.
So you had a friendly chat, and then according to your lawsuit, at some point later in the night, Sean Combs himself offered you a drink. This didn't come from staff or someone holding a tray of drinks. It came from him directly.
Correct. The first drink started to have some effect on me, and I just thought, wow, these are really strong drinks. It wasn't until the second drink, and it was already too late, that I realized that there was something wrong with the drinks. Sadly, Sean Combs was waiting in the wings. He was watching from some sort of vantage point. And once I was in a helpless position and he was sure that he was in a position of power, then he took advantage of the situation.
You allege that you were forcibly pushed into an SUV by Sean Combs. That act alone, according to your lawsuit, left you in considerable pain. And then once inside the vehicle, your lawsuit says plaintiff was held down by Combs, who overpowered him while he struggled to escape due to the effects of the drugs in his system. And it goes on to say that he sodomized you.
I was screaming. I was telling him to stop. It was incredibly painful. And he was acting like it was nothing. And he seemed to be disconnected from it. It was abusive beyond belief.
Concealing his face and voice, the alleged victim told CNN, the first drink started to have some effect on me. And I just thought, wow, these are really strong drinks. It wasn't until the second drink. If the first drink and I'm working as security was strong, why would you then go ahead and take a second drink? And it was already too late that I realized there was something wrong with the drinks. Once he was incapacitated, he claims Diddy forced him into an SUV and began sodomizing him. He says, I was screaming, telling him to stop. It was incredibly painful, and he was acting like it was nothing, and he seemed to be disconnected from it. So I had these two drinks. These two drinks had something in it. I couldn't fight anybody off, but I remember Diddy was disconnected. I was screaming. Okay. Now the amended lawsuit filed by the alleged victim attorney, Tony Busby, that's why I call this a Tony Busby special, contains two major changes from the original filing. They said two major changes. First, he initially claimed the Hamptons party happened in 2006, but now says it was 2007. Secondly, in the first filing, he said he never got married due to the trauma of the R. But in the new filing, he says he was married at the time and was too ashamed to tell his wife after suffering through the assault. Diddy's attorney tells us that the Busby was exposed this week for pressuring clients to bring bogus cases against Mr. Combs, and other public records show that, contrary to his allegations, there was no white party in the Hamptons in 2006. Busby amended this complaint to walk back the allegations and now claim a different day and wholly different year. In a previous statement addressing the original lawsuit, Diddy Sawyers blasted Busby for holding a press conference to garner publicity while offering a 1-800 number for accusers to call to report their allegations. Diddy's legal team also noted the mobile never SA'd anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. What do we think about this amended lawsuit by the John Doe who is accusing Diddy of violating him? Katrina, your thoughts?
Well, if they make the Jane Doe come out, why they can't make the John Doe come out? Why he can't say his name? Is that Gene Deal? No, just playing. What I want to say is, I don't know if this person was sodomized or anything like that, but I'm thinking to myself, and I know a lot of these victims, I'm not victim shaming or anything like that, but why don't y'all get this on record? If this man sodomized you to the point where you scream and holler and tell him to stop, you didn't go to the hospital. I mean, you didn't go to the police station. I would have did something to have it on record. But you said that he gave you something in your drink. So if he gave you something in your drink, I don't know if it was GHB or something else, and he had you out like that, I'm just trying to figure out how was you feeling the pain. But maybe that he gave him something different. I don't know. Because if you did giving you like those substances, it kills the pain of what you're going through. Because a lot of them said that they woke up and it was done and whatsoever. But I'm not saying that it didn't happen to him or anything like that. Only thing I'm saying is, why don't none of these people have a police record? Regardless if you saying you ain't got married because this would happen to you. So what are you saying? Are you gay? Or what are you saying? So are you gay? Do you want a man now, but you don't want a wife because this happened? You feel like your manhood is taken away. So if you feel that way, I would have went to the police station and got this on record. And if you're a security guard, who are you securing? Because if you out of it, the people at the party could have had something happen to them, and you supposed to be securing them. So I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying you made some wrong decisions yourself. And they always was told, if you don't see somebody pouring the drink, you don't take it. You felt funny the first time, then you took another drink, so you was out of it. You got pushed into a car. So Diddy walked you to a car and pushed you in a car and sodomized you. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm trying to think. I'm just trying to get to the point where nobody saw him doing this to you. It's a lot, but we'll see. Because, like I said, it's a lot of missing parts missing. It's a lot of missing parts missing because if you saying this happened to you, nobody seeing you getting pushed to the car, nobody seeing it, nobody know nothing. You ain't got no witnesses, and I'm not victim shaming. I'm just asking these questions. I don't understand these. I mean, maybe they were scared or whatsoever. But now you coming out, you disguising your voice, you doing this, you doing that. And I feel like this, if they made the Jane Doe show her face, they should make him do it as well. That's all I got.
Okay, true. Julius, your thoughts?
Oy vey. So the only one that had courage was the one where Diddy was brought to court through the ring or through that pow pow case. That young lady was the only one to have courage to stand up and say he did this to me. Because everybody's like, yeah, he did this, he did that. I am hearing bandwagon foolery. That's what I'm hearing. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt so badly. I do. Now I want to make this perfectly clear. No one deserves to be
Violated.
that part. No one deserves that. But when you bandwagon and nothing happened to you, that's a problem. And I feel like the majority of these people are bandwagoners just looking for a payday. I'm sorry. That's what it's coming to. And that Busby character, he ain't right in the head either.
Thank you, Julius. Leo, your thoughts in the building.
Hey y'all, something is going on with my phone. So is there an echo or anything?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Well,
Okay, it just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, something is going on. How about now?
If I don't talk, you talk, it'll be fine. So go ahead and talk. I'm not going to say.
Okay, so my first thought was, here we go again. Somebody else is jumping in, just like Julia said, bandwagon type of thing. And I am not. I'm on the whole page with Katrina, with Jules. I don't want to sound like I'm victim blaming, but I will say this. Believe victims, but verify. And until I get another story, something else that can verify what he's saying, I'm really gonna pay him dust. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm really just gonna pay him dust. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but the verifications that his information is given dodgy. It's given dodgy. So I don't have anything for this particular claim at this particular time. Not to say he is not the person not to say he is not a person that has been victimized. There are a lot of victims out there that have real stories that can be really verified. But with this one, I'm gonna just keep it real with the people on the trade. I'm not.
Yeah, I like your believe victims but verify. Wayne, your thoughts?
I don't want to stereotype security guards or whoever, but you would kind of think maybe at a Diddy party, it wouldn't be Pee-wee. It wouldn't be some off the wall security. You would think at a Diddy party that he would have high security. Okay. Mm-hmm. And high security or professional security, they're not drinking. Mm-hmm. They're not drinking on the job. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he takes a drink and he says that it was just a strong drink. Okay. If you drank before, you're a drinker. If it's that strong, what do you think the second sip gonna be?
Come on now. The second drink.
No. I'm talking about the second sip. If it's that strong and you felt it that strong, he didn't, gulp the whole drink, doesn't sound like, but I'm saying he enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. But if you know that the first drink then did this to you, the first sip, what do you think a whole nother drink gonna do? I'm beginning to believe all these people. I'm like Julius, I want to say, look, I don't know if it happened or it didn't happen, if it did happen, it's horrible, blah, blah, blah. But all these people got the same MO. They want to be a Jane Doe. They want to be a James Doe. It happened then. I didn't tell anybody. So all you're doing is your word against his. Diddy could say, I don't know this guy. Mm-hmm. But what I do think, I think this is coming up like a class action suit. And I know many of y'all got class action suits. Said, if you had this product before, blah, 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 give us a call, blah, 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 blah. Class action suit settles. You may get $10, $15. I just got one today for $8.81 from Equifax, right? But who do you think got the big pot? The lawyer. If Jay-Z doesn't sue Busby, whatever his name is, doesn't sue him, he really don't have a lot to lose. Because he got all these people, right? Class action suit. You gathering people up. If you ever been to a Diddy party, if you was ever across the street from a Diddy party, if you knew somebody went to a Diddy party, give me a call. So you can file a lawsuit. And these people, they know they're not going to get millions. But some of these people, $50,000, $100,000, you know. So if Busby can get Diddy, whoever, to like say, hey, well, they'll take this much, you know, he's going to come out ahead. He's going to have the big payday. So he really had nothing to lose. So I'm just to begin to think, you know, because I'm real kind of kind-hearted, soft-hearted. And when people tell these stories, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, wow, you know, I believe it. But when the young lady who interviewed and was telling all those lies and people sending her cash apps, you know, it's like they kind of pull at the strings of your heart. But now I'm beginning to believe that, look, this is what you do. You go in there and this is your story. This is what you say. And I think he got it, that security guard, I think he got his story kind of mixed up. Because that don't even sound right. First, you're a security guard, and then you're drinking on the job, and the drink is strong, but you won't have another one. Now you didn't claim somebody that tapped you. And you ain't told nobody. Nobody came forth and said, you know, you ain't, most men, if that had happened to them, they said, yo, he gone. You're a goner. No, he never said nothing. So I'm beginning to think a lot of these stories is just like jumping on the bandwagon and just taking advantage of an opportunity. Now, I'm not saying these two guys ain't you know, horrible people and haven't done stuff. I don't know. But where there's smoke, there's fire. But I'm saying, I don't think it's all these people. I don't think all these people coming forth, you know, I just think, you know, they kind of try to sound credible and sound, you know, that I've been hurt and all this. No, so I think some of this, the lawyers are just putting these people up to do this. I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Keisha, you in the building. What are your thoughts?
Hey, you guys. So, Wayne, I kind of echo what you say. A lot of these people are jumping on the bandwagon. And, you know, I don't know if Diddy's innocent or guilty or Jay-Z, but in my opinion, I believe most of those people that were there, they were there because they wanted to be. They took the substance, they knew what was going to happen. And once it wore off, then they had regrets. Now they want to go back and sue.
Absolutely.
But we all were young. We made stupid mistakes and things happen. And I'm pretty sure if you heard about these parties, then why would you go? Because you knew it was going to happen. So they all wanted the money. They all wanted the fame. So that's how I feel about that. But like I told you last time, Diva, I'm a talent acquisition manager for a security company. So with this being said, this guy, he's totally, I mean, I scan applications all day. And in our policy, you can't do anything like that with the client. That's the reputation of the company. We could lose that client. If they did get that company, I'm sure they got big money for sending officers to Diddy parties. So he was in direct violation of everything. And so, like Wayne said, they should have had more professional officers there. And this is totally, I mean, I'm not blaming what happened to him if it did, but he's totally in the wrong.
100%.
And that's it. I mean, it's crazy. I just can't even believe it when he said he took the drink and he took a second drink on the job. So yeah, the whole reputation of the company would have been destroyed if he hadn't been, I guess, assaulted and something else. Maybe he made somebody mad at the company at the party and then they told on the company. They would lose that whole contract because of that officer making a mistake. So it's just ridiculous to me and I can't even believe it. But that's it, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. At some point, the circle, you know, no matter what industry you work in, if you work in the retail industry, after a while, you start bumping into the same people because there's but so many major retail stores you can work for. You'd be like, oh, yeah, I know Diva. She used to work over there at Macy's. Oh, you work with her now? In Bloomingdale's? Oh, okay. Yeah, I worked for her for about 5 years. So at some point, the people in that entertainment industry and circle, they knew what was up when they said a Diddy party. But we're going to carry on and roll into the next story. So our next story, I want to get into this Rymir. This kid has been fighting for a whole hot minute to prove that Jay-Z is his father. I don't know what to really tell him. I can go in and out with this thing, but I know who my parents are. So I can't really, get into the mindset of someone who doesn't know either both their parents or maybe one of their parents, right? So I understand that he's saying he just want to know. Many people are saying, well, if it's not a money grab, what is the big deal? But sometimes you just want to know your lineage, your family line. So let's get into this Rymir story. And Rymir took this as an opportunity to say, you know what? Jay-Z has been doing me wrong for a whole hot minute. So do I have the right one up? Yes. So exclusive, a man 30 who insists he is Jay-Z's illegitimate son accuses rapper of abusing legal system for 10 years to avoid taking a paternity test, as he files new Supreme Court motion to unseal decade-long case. I will win. The law is on my side. So the 30-year-old man who claims that he is the secret illegitimate son of Jay-Z has accused the world-famous rapper of abusing the legal system for more than a decade in order to avoid taking a paternity test. Well, you know what? He's smart. He's striking while the iron is hot, right? Because he's been fighting this case, and Jay-Z and his money has been avoiding it. But now he knows that the smoke is on Jay-Z, and he's going to reopen his case. So Rymir has been fighting to prove that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, is his biological father since he was 21 years old. And he is now taking the battle to the Supreme Court in an attempt to unseal the case and force Carter to take the DNA test. Oh, listen, when your past comes back to haunt you, okay? Speaking to the Daily Mail about the latest twist in a roller coaster case, Rymir from New Jersey insisted that he wants nothing more than to see justice served and that he will stop at nothing to ensure that happens. He added that he wants nothing from the billionaire rapper who has been married to chart-topping pop superstar Beyonce other than for Jay-Z to acknowledge him as his son. In a letter to the Daily Mail, Jay-Z's attorney denied Rymir's claims, noting the allegations have been previously revealed thoroughly by the courts and have been refuted. I am sure that that will be the outcome of whatever filings Mr. Satterthwaite may be currently considering. That's Rymir. That's Jay-Z. This is not going to be over until justice is served, Rymir says. I just want to live my life, and when it is all said and done, I hope that Jay-Z will want to be a part of my life, if that is God's will. Well, let me say this, Rymir. I'm not going to tell you to stop your fight or continue your fight. This is your fight to decide what you're going to do. But if you think that if this goes in your favor and he's forced to take a DNA test, if you think after that DNA test that Jay-Z is going to want to be in your life, it's going, I don't know. We can all pray. And the reason why I say I don't know, because it's going to bust open a whole can of worms for Jay-Z. And the bust open of the can of worms is going to start with the fact that your mother was 16 and he was 22 when he got your mother pregnant. I won't stop fighting for this until I win, and I will win because the law is on our side. To that end, Rymir filed a new motion with New Jersey Supreme Court in February this year, which has been obtained by the DailyMail.com, requesting that the court unseal years' worth of documents dating back to 2012, arguing that keeping the case under wraps has prevented him from getting his due process. The motion, which details every facet of the years-long case in a 29-page document, was rejected by the Supreme Court because, according to the court, it did not have jurisdiction to reopen matters in the appeals court or to unseal records in the trial court. It was then refiled by Rymir in the appellate division of New Jersey Superior Court, which is considering the matter. It marks the latest turn in a very twisted and lengthy case, which began, Rymir says, in the fall of 1992, when his late mother Wanda alleged she had sex with Jay-Z while she was in an on-again and off-again romance with her high school sweetheart. At the time, Wanda was 16 and Jay-Z was 22. And far from the global rap sensation that he has since become, following the release of his debut studio album, Reasonable Doubt, in 1996. The filing, Rymir says, was short-lived, and by the time he was born in July 1993, the alleged romance between his mother and Jay-Z had already come to an end, which is partly why he claims his mother chose to put the name of her high school sweetheart, Robert Graves, who by this time had reignited his romance with Wanda, was by her side in the hospital when she gave birth, on her son's birth certificate as his biological father. However, according to a family insider, Wanda always knew that Robert was not Rymir's father, something that became all the more evident as her son grew and bore no resemblance to her high school sweetheart. That's his mother. That's Rymir. So when Rymir was 8 years old, he says his mother told him that Jay-Z, who by this stage had made a name for himself as a global music icon, was his real father. However, the question of Rymir's paternity did not turn into a legal tussle until 2010, 2 years after Jay-Z married his wife Beyonce, when Wanda's health began to decline. At the time, she insisted that she had sex with only 2 men at the time of Rymir's conception, her high school sweetheart, Michael, and Jay-Z, and requested that a Pennsylvania court make both men take a paternity test in order to determine who was her son's real father. When the court issued an order, Robert agreed to undergo genetic testing, proving once without any shadow of a doubt that he and Rymir had no biological relation. Robert's name was removed from Rymir's birth certificate by the court and has remained blank ever since. In 2011, Wanda handed over custody of her son to her godmother, Lily Coley, who vowed to carry on the fight to prove the identity of Rymir's father once and for all, telling the Daily Mail, "I was just trying to help my goddaughter's child have a relationship with his father. It was so hard on him because he was ripped away from his mom and had no one to call dad." That same year, Lily contacted Jay-Z's attorney, I guess Eliza Fisher, and asked that he undergo DNA testing in New Jersey, where he and Rymir were based. Rymir and Lily said they complied with the request, but never received a response from Jay-Z's legal team about the results of any genetic testing. The same year, multiple reports surfaced alleging that Jay-Z had fathered another son with a Trinidadian model, Chanel Scott. Claims that the rapper's team were quick to dismiss as ridiculous rumors. Lily and Rymir began to pursue legal action against Jay-Z in 2012, a battle that has since spanned more than 10 years and seen the pair embroiled in endless legal tussles with the rapper. During that time, Rymir insists that Jay-Z's legal team had made endless attempts to subvert the legal system in order to avoid taking a paternity test, which the 30-year-old claims will put an end to the case once and for all. Documentation about every legal proceeding is enclosed in Rymir's new Supreme Court motion, which has been seen by the Daily Mail, and which outlines how the case began with a pre-trial in Camden County, New Jersey on August 13, 2012. During the pre-trial, Jay-Z's attorney argued that Lily, who was acting as Rymir's legal guardian, had no jurisdiction over the case because it was first filed by his mother Wanda in Pennsylvania and therefore should be heard in the same state. The rapper's attorneys also insisted that the case should be therefore dismissed outright because Rymir was over 18 years old at the time of the pre-trial, and according to Pennsylvania state law, paternity must be established before a child reached the age of adulthood. The court, however, disagreed, holding that the case should be tried under New Jersey law, which states that the age of parentage is 23. So you're playing games. Just take the test. Jay-Z legal team then argued the rapper should be exempt from undergoing a DNA test in New Jersey because he did not live or own any property in the state, despite several news articles linking him to homes in Alpine and Newport, New Jersey. My client does not have contacts in New Jersey. He doesn't own residence. He doesn't own anything in Alpine. He doesn't own anything in Newport. I don't know where that information is out there. It is on the internet, his lawyer told the court. As a result of this argument, the judge dismissed the case. However, Rymir's attorneys immediately appealed the verdict, insisting that they had evidence in the form of 3 property deeds and tax records proving that Jay-Z owned several properties in New Jersey and that his attorney therefore committed fraud by stating otherwise in court. For several of the properties, Jay-Z is still listed as the owner under his legal name, Sean Corey Carter. In addition, several of his intimate family members are also listed. Rymir and his legal team submitted the deeds as evidence for their appeal, and the case resumed on December 12, 2012. During a hearing as part of that trial, Jay-Z's attorney noted that she had misspoken about where he really lived, having told the court that the rapper lived at 411 Broadway in New York City, which is actually the office of his record label, Rock Nation. So these lawyers be lying. I did misspeak at the last hearing because I really did think that Broadway was his home address, Fisher stated. However, the case was still dismissed after the rapper's lawyer commended that Rymir had failed to prove that Sean Carter listed on the deeds was in fact her client and not another person of the same name. They just messing with this kid. It's just messy. And those are all the documents. Plaintiff's request for genetic testing and support is dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and for lack of personal jurisdiction over defendant Sean Corey Carter without prejudice, the court ruled. Listen, this thing kind of goes on, but the gist of this is he is avoiding trying to get this DNA test. I said, if the kid ain't yours, take the test and let's move on. Katrina, your thoughts?
I'm with you, Diva. Why not take the test? This child is going to the ends to prove that you're his father. And if you're not the father, of course, now we see why you want to take the test. But then again, we already knew that Jay-Z messed with girls from 16 on up and probably below that. Because how old was Aaliyah? How old was Rihanna? How old was Foxy Brown? But anyway, allegedly. But what I'm saying is, if this not your child, take the DNA test and say, I'm done. I took the test. He's not mine. But you in the courts, stopping the courts from doing whatever you're doing. And whoever do this test, it need to be on the outside that he don't know what this person is, because I know down in Miami with allegedly Rick Ross and them, they would pay the people to say that those kids are not theirs. So whoever take the test, whoever give the test, I think it should be sealed and they not knowing where the lab is or whatever, or not trying to get information on it. Because like I said, if this not your child, plenty of fathers out here would jump at a chance to take a test to prove that's not their child because they don't want to pay child support. So why are you fighting this so hard? You fighting this so hard because you actually believe that this is your child, but you don't want to be caught in the crossfire because how old the girl was. And back in the day, what, early 90s and late 80s, early 90s, 2000, all girls want a D dealer. And that's what he used to be. He was a D dealer. And like I said, he probably had more than one woman. He probably can't even remember who the woman is. But what I'm saying is, if this not your child, take a DNA test. And all this could have been done 10 years ago. You don't want to take a DNA test because you know what you was doing. You messed with underage girls, allegedly. So, like I said, just take the DNA test, and that will shut him down. That will shut him down. And people saying, why Beyonce? But Beyonce look like she don't even have life in her eyes. Anyway, take the test. Prove to me that you're not my dad, and I will leave you alone. Why keep dragging it on if you're not the father? Just take the darn test. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? I think why he doesn't want to take the test, because he knows if he takes the test, and his children will know they have a brother, and at some age, they may want to have a relationship with their brother. And I think if he never takes a DNA test, his kids will never know. Okay, and they may not have that desire to want to know who their brother is, or if they have a brother. But if they know, and Blue Ivy, she's old enough, you know, you think once she gets to be an adult that, you know, hey, I have a brother out there. That's the only, because he could easily do a blood, whatever, DNA test and say, look, son, here, I'm sorry, caused you all that, you know, yeah, maybe we can't hang out, whatever, boom. Let me give you a couple $1 million. He has over $1 billion. That's like giving him 20. I mean, it never be like, wow, he's a cool dude. He did, okay, $2 million to make up for all the past time that he, you know, escaped from getting it done. But now, hey, I'm gonna do right. The DNA says you are mine, whatever, boom, fist pump, let's move on. But I think once he knows that his kids know that they have a brother out there, they may want to form a relationship with them. And I don't think he wants that. Done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Leo, your thoughts?
I'm pretty much 50-50 on this one. I do sympathize with the fact that he should have taken the test 10 years ago, and we can all stop having this conversation. It'll be you are the father or you are not the father.
That part.
It could have already been solved. But as of this young man, I believe he's in his late 20s or 30s at this point in time. I think that for his own mental health, I don't think it is productive to force your alleged father or possible father into a corner at your big age to claim his fatherhood when he has obviously for the past 28, 27, 30 years has not wanted to be your father. So I think there is a argument to be made for this young man to go seek some therapy, because obviously this man does not want to be your father. Is he your father? Possibly. Right. But there are many children out here that have to deal with deadbeat fathers who don't want to claim them, that they ain't never had a relationship with, that they don't want to see them, and they still have to be able to carry on their life productively. And I do feel like, yes, Jay-Z should do it and get it done with, but this man don't want to do that. And he seems like, to me, the type of person, if you keep pushing him and keep pushing him and keep pushing him to do something he doesn't want to do, you're not going to get the outcome that you think you're going to get. He is not going to be able, let's just say the Supreme Court does hit the gavel and say, get the DNA test done. And then it does turn out that he is the father of this young man. Jay-Z will pay the money, whatever the court set up, back child support or whatever they want to say that he needs to pay. He gonna pay the money, and he still is not gonna have a relationship with this man. Will the kids maybe want to have a relationship with him? Who knows? I doubt it though. I doubt it. I doubt it. Because they're going to feel like that their daddy was browbeat, beat down, in the back of the head, pushed around to get to this place. And Jay-Z going to feel like that too. Yeah. It is not a road of a constructive relationship for parent and child. I don't think it's going to end the way he thinks he's going to end. And on top of the fact that he's been public for the past 10 years. See, that's the thing. Jay-Z, to me, I think Jay-Z not going to give in simply because it's been made public. So whether is or not, you are the father, you're not the father, it's a public thing that's got Jay-Z fighting all the way to the end. If it would have remained private, he probably would have got his DNA test. but he went public. They all went on a hobo tour. They all got on the interviews. They all did these articles. They do these things on the internet and screen, because it's a girl out there too that says that Jay-Z is her father. And so, you know, they do these public things that gives their argument less credibility. And Jay-Z is showing us once again with this other Tony Busby lawsuit that has included him with doing some foul stuff with a 13-year-old girl. He don't like that. He don't like the publicity. He don't like people getting on their high horse talking all this stuff about him publicly, and he will fight. He will fight all the way to the end with this stuff. And that's where this young man's problem actually began, with trying to get Jay-Z to get a DNA test. Do I think it is easier? Perhaps, to be done with it, but it should have been done 10 years ago. Now, he's striking when the iron is hot, but who is it hot for? It ain't necessarily hot for him. That don't necessarily mean that Jay-Z gonna budge. It's not. He's more entrenched now than he ever has been. I don't think he ain't gonna give in to the lawsuit with Tony Busby, and he ain't gonna give in to this young man either.
That's a fact. And I feel for this young man, because his mother is no longer living, and he probably just wants some connection. But I do agree with you. Even if the Supreme Court says take the test, he's not going to get the outcome that he wants, because he's going to feel like, you beat me into this. All right, I'm your father, so what? Because, you know, 50 Cent has a son out there that, you know, he knows this is his son, and that son can't get no love from 50 Cent. You can't force somebody to love you or want you in their life. Yeah, I'm feeling for him, and I think you gave some good advice. He needs counseling. Julius, your thoughts?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
You can't force nobody in your life that don't want you.
Yeah.
It's just a fact of life. You can't force nobody in your life that don't want you. And you know what? Take the DNA test. End the drama. Take the DNA test. Call it a day. But I will say to this young man, if he does turn out to be your sperm donor, he's not going to want you in his life. So take the test, get it done, call it a day.
Oh, God. He's nodding his sad. Keisha, your thoughts?
So, yeah, I'm kind of riding with Leo and one of the other callers one of the people that was in the chat, where she put, I want him to take the test, like Leo said. 10 years ago, he could have taken it. We could know yes or no. But at the same time, one of the other people wrote, if he does take it, we don't know how many other people are going to pop up out of the woodworks saying, I had a baby by Jay-Z. I had a baby by Jay-Z. And now that Leo said this thing is public, and I think that's what's really getting to Jay-Z, besides this kid and the whole case, his ego is getting the best of him. He doesn't want to be publicly humiliated. And then we don't even know, like the other call, I want one person put in the chat, leave Beyonce out of it, but we don't know what Beyonce's family is saying, what her team is saying, anything, even though most of us do separate the two, even though they're married. Whatever he does, that public humiliation is still on their family. So we don't know what Miss Tina, their team is saying. Go ahead, don't take that test. You need to sue Tony. We need to make them see that you didn't do this. Even if he did do it, I feel like he's gonna ride it out all the way to the end until, if they can prove that the person that's suing him guilty, that 13-year-old, well, the girl, or even this young man. I think if it's the truth, I think Jay-Z is the type of person that'll lie all the way to the end, just to protect his family.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you on that. It seems like they lie until the truth really surfaces, and they can't lie, and then they apologize.
Yeah.
And they want to move on. You know, Diddy denied with Cassie into the videos. We saw the video with our own eyes, and then he was like, oh, okay, well, I was going through something then. I was in a dark, I went to counseling.
Yep, that's true. And then, like everybody says, I mean, I don't know if he's innocent or guilty, but like we've seen, we can't really put anything past anybody. And just like everybody comes out so quickly, Diddy did it. As soon as they come out with Jay-Z, nobody believes he did this. He's innocent. He's an angel. But just like you said, Diddy lied all the way to the end until we saw the video. So we'd have no idea what's coming with the rest of these cases.
That part. And I personally don't believe that somebody just hangs with somebody for decades like that and they're so sinister, and you, that is not who you are. It usually just doesn't work like that. But those are my thoughts. And we'll wait. Yeah. But everybody's like, oh my God, not Jay-Z. But the wild thing is, Jay-Z's name, from the moment they went and locked Diddy up, Jay-Z's name has been out there surfacing and being thrown around. And the claim is that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. And I know in people's mind, like, who could be worse than Diddy from all what we heard? And listen, there is these brothers, I don't know, I want to say they're in the real estate industry. I want to say, I heard this earlier today. There's these brothers, there's 3 of them. They just got arrested and locked up by same Southern District of New York for sex trafficking. Doing the same thing Diddy is accused of. Saying they was giving these ladies, and it's 3 brothers. So saying they was giving ladies substances. I'll say it like that. Y'all know what that is, right? Giving these ladies stuff, and then doing and taking advantage of them. I use those words. But yeah, Google it. But it's interesting to get back to a little point of what Leo's saying. When there's others, the coverage is very low level. Very low level. And I don't want to deal with this story because it's so sinister, but I will say this, the story with the guy who took the life of that CEO. Now, this we know for a fact. Everything with Diddy, until we actually see actual evidence, we don't know what really happened or not happened. But he's a monster. He's a this. He lost everything, right? Lost all the deals, lost everything. Here you have this kid that on video we see took another person's life, and they're talking about how he's woe is me. Oh, he had back problems. He came from a prestigious family. Something must have happened. I'm sitting there like, huh? This man, he took somebody's life. If y'all got the right person, he took somebody's life. We saw it on video. And then you have that Daniel Penny. He's a mess. That's the New York case. I want to say we talked about that yesterday. He kept his mouth shut the whole trial. Now he's sitting up doing a whole interview talking about he would do it again. He said, what now? Not saying, in hindsight, blah, blah, blah. Or just, how about you was quiet the whole trial? How about keep your mouth shut? No, he's sitting up arrogant as hell, talking about he would do it again.
Yeah, Diva, can I say one thing?
Yeah, of course.
And you made a really good point with that, because I was just talking to my coworker too. I was like, that's crazy, even if they're guilty or not, but it's crazy how the public, how this is so mainstream for Jay-Z and Diddy, and how we'll condemn our own people. But when I was talking to my coworker, I said, it's crazy because the guy with the Abercrombie and Fitch thing, almost the same thing. He had his trial. He's out on bond or whatever. And we ain't heard no more about him in the YouTube streets, on the news. Nobody's giving headlines up to date every 10 minutes, every day about him. He's at home doing whatever he has to do. But every other 5 minutes is something about Diddy and Jay-Z.
Every other 5 minutes. And well, I said,
That's because he listened to his lawyer. I'm sorry, David.
But 2 seconds on the news the other day, I heard that because their cases in New York too, that Abercrombie and Fitch, it was like a blink of an eye. If you was doing something, washing the dishes, sweeping your floor, you would have missed it. A blink of an eye on the news. They said that, and I didn't even catch the day, that they are due to appear in the Long Island court, and they had a picture of all 3 of them and said they're due in court. It's one day this week. But like you said, it was like that. It happened just like that. Now, and it's interesting too with the Jay-Z case, the NFL said we're standing by him. It's interesting how one person is believed and another person is condemned automatically. And I'm not saying what should be done with either, but I told you over here, I stood 10 toes down. It should be due process. It should be due process, whether it's Jay-Z or Diddy. It should be due process. Because we don't know what either one of them did or really didn't do. We don't know. So they should both, to me, fairly get due process. And especially now that we know this Tony Busby, he just does whatever. And so it's easy to tear somebody down that the public already believes is a monster. It's very easy to tear somebody down. So it's easy, no matter what you say about Diddy now, the people automatically believe it. I could probably say something and it'd be a whole lie. It's like, so it's sad the way that this thing is going. But unfortunately with Diddy, and the difference I think between Diddy and Jay-Z, Diddy doesn't help his case. He makes it worse. Diddy makes his case worse. Because and where Jay-Z, and I think that's part of the opposite too. Like Jay-Z is not making his case worse where Diddy is, right? But yeah, we will throw each other under the bus in 2.2 seconds. 2.2 seconds easily. So yeah, it's a lot. That could be a whole nother conversation for another day. I'm gonna roll into this last story real quick. And this last story is this Carmen Bryan. I don't understand why she felt the need to come out with this now, right? She has spoken about it before, but to reunite it and come back out with it again. And many people, I've seen it in the chat yesterday. I've seen it in the chat today. Everybody's saying, well, Foxy Brown denied that anything between her and Jay-Z. Well, y'all better check the latest news. It's so many stories I could do. I could probably do a story every hour. Foxy Brown put some cryptic message in her Instagram stories. She talked about her DNA running out and talked about whoa, wow, and saying things. And she gave cryptic messages. So I know many people are saying, oh, Foxy Brown, she denied everything. But listen, Kalana, what was that darn name? What's her name? Kalana Harper. She denied a whole lot too, but we found out she got paid. So is Foxy Brown denying because is she supposed to be denying it? Like it really didn't happen, or is Foxy Brown denying because maybe she got shut up and was paid? I don't know, but let's get into this Carmen story. What increased matter, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing. And people are trying to figure out, like, so you got a Jonathan Majors who literally was running down the block away from somebody. He gets probation and all of this, and he has to do that. He lost every single job. And you got other people who clearly did stuff and they free. It just don't make sense. The justice system is a whole hot flaming mess. But let
And
me
that's
get
right with the NFL, Diva. You said that they're sticking by Jay-Z. Yeah, because Jay-Z bringing in a lot of black dollars. A lot of black people have left the NFL because of Colin Kaepernick, because he took a knee for the black people, and he loses his job standing up for the black people. And you have a allegedly our person, and you sticking by them because you bringing in the black dollars. That's what I don't understand. I'm not saying that he did it, he didn't do it whatsoever, but you're sticking by this type of mess, but you got rid of a black person who was trying to stick up for black people. But that's why I'm done. I'm just thinking about what you had said. That's it.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And you're absolutely right. It's just messy. It's so messy. And right, I think Lawson, I saw your post there. Yeah, they're praising this guy. That jacket that guy with the CEO that sold out. I'm just like, I don't understand the mindset of people. It just don't make sense to me. It's like, what are we doing here? You got one thing where you're not quite sure exactly what happens, and you condemning that person and you throwing them under the bus. And then you got a situation where you know what happened, and that person you're praising and like acting like they did a good thing. No, you don't take nobody life. I don't care what the situation is. It's just crazy. Let me share this screen and let's get into this Carmen story. So Carmen Bryan, who got pregnant during a 9-year affair with Jay-Z, breaks her silence after the rapper is accused of R-ing a girl that is 13. Carmen, who fell pregnant with Jay-Z's baby during a 9-year affair, has launched an attack against the rapper on Instagram in the wake of allegations that he R-ed a 13-year-old girl. The 52-year-old shared a pointed post writing, "These days, people don't defend what's right. They defend who they like. And that's why we call you groupie." Carmen, who wrote a book describing herself as the hip-hop Helen of Troy, also made a jab at the rapper by highlighting how he referred to himself as a R in Kanye West's track Monster. You know, these hip-hop lyrics are disgusting, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I think I wanted to play this. Let me just remind myself and let's see.
AI can paint your cat in the style of Van Gogh. Pretty cool, right? But what about AI that does something useful, like pinging you about a supply shortage before it even happens?
Got it.
Or identifying a defective squeaky toy just by taking a picture of it?
I meant to let me see, skip that. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get out of it now. Let me go ahead and let me see if I can back up to it. Hold on one second. I'm going to stop sharing and share again. I'll skip it after I read it, and then we'll go back to the video. So Carmen, who fell pregnant, I read that part. The 50-year-old, I read that part. Carmen, who wrote a book describing herself as the hip-hop Helen of Troy, also made a jab at the rapper by highlighting how he referred to himself as an R in Kanye West's track Monster. She posted lyrics from the song highlighting the lines, "Kill a block, I murder the avenues, I R and pillage your village, women and children." Jay-Z, 55, has been hit with a civil lawsuit that claims he essayed a 13-year-old girl on September 7, 2000, after the MTV Music Awards with Diddy, but denies the allegations. Carmen, who previously worked as an executive assistant in the record industry, fell pregnant during her affair with Jay-Z, which went on from 1995 to 2004, while she also was dating his arch rival Nas, but sadly suffered a miscarriage. The affair, let me just pause this. The affair continued even while Carmen was engaged to Nas, the father of her daughter Destiny, who was born in 1994. But she finally ended things after being left disgusted by Jay-Z rapping about having sex with her in his song Super Ugly. That's what she wrote on her Instagram story. Jay-Z released the track in 2004 and rapped about how he had sex with Carmen in a Jeep and left behind used condoms in her daughter's baby seat. "Wrong move. That was a moment I lost all respect for Sean Carter," she wrote, referring to the rapper by his initials of his real name, Sean Carter. Carmen previously confessed about the affair to Nas after the release of Memphis Bleak and Jay-Z's track Is That Your Chick, a highly sexualized song about stealing another man's partner. She revealed after the release of the song, Nas phoned her to ask if it was about her after years of choosing not to believe the rumors between the pair. In her memoir, It's No Secret, Carmen recorded the difficult conversation with Nas. She wrote, "Nas, it's true. The rumors are true. I have been seeing Jay-Z." During the 3 a.m. phone call, Carmen explained she and Jay-Z had been having an affair for 5 years after they met as friends and began an intimate relationship a year after. In an interview with Vlad TV in 2017, Carmen also admitted she fell pregnant with his baby, which she later miscarried. "I believe I was 3 months. It was the first trimester. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't planned. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to have this baby." She also confessed she only told Jay-Z about the pregnancy after the miscarriage had happened. Discussing Jay-Z's song Takeover, which was released in 2001 and was about Carmen, she explained, "I had already split up from Nas. I had shipped all my things to LA. I moved, I packed Destiny and I up. We were already out. Nas and I weren't together. We were not in a relationship, yet things weren't completely over," as she added. We were still going back and forth and seeing each other. The relationship was a known and void. Jay-Z is the first celebrity to be named alongside Diddy in one of the myriad of lawsuits filed against Combs. But both rappers have denied the allegations. The victim claims that art took place at the VMAs after party in 2000 while unidentified female celebrity watched. Now, the internet has been in a frenzy trying to identify who this female celebrity is. And people are saying, please stop doing that. Stop trying to figure out who this female celebrity is, because in the meantime, you are hurting so maybe innocent celebrities by trying to name who this female celebrity could possibly be, especially because we know Busby doesn't seem to always get the truth right, or maybe doesn't always tell the truth. We should lean back, because do we even know, was there truly a female celebrity watching? He seems to like sensationalism. The anonymous victim was previously referred to Jay-Z as Celebrity A in the bombshell filing, with the female star accused of watching being anonymous as Celebrity B. Jay-Z issued a blistering, response, and we know all of that. And the rest we kind of know. But Carmen coming out to kind of solidify, just putting more negativity on Jay-Z's reputation. I think she was just wrong role, wrong time, wrong place. Katrina, your thoughts?
This is just weird. Like you said, these women go from man to man, and these men go from woman to woman. They all sharing each other. I think that's when Nas had came out with that diss track against Jay-Z and really, really emmed him on that track. But the thing of it is, this happened how many years ago? And because this, I mean, and yeah, you got your right to speak your piece. You have, and he shouldn't. Maybe he wanted her, and she didn't want him, so he tried to, put those lyrics in those songs. And that's the thing. When men gets mad with women when they don't want them anymore, they try to dog them out or talk about them and everything like that. The same thing with that Drea girl. Yeah, girl, you messing around with these young guys, whatever. And the guys that you were messing around, they were talking about you on the internet. But yet still, y'all was the one that paid her. I don't get it. But I guess that's they paying her. That means like, okay, well, she's this, she's that. But what that makes you? Like I said, all this stuff will come to a head one way or another. Bugsby, I hope you got your ducks in a row. I hope you ready to stand by what you got out there. I hope you ready to defend yourself for what you saying these people have done. And like Wayne said, when they do a class action suits like that, because they are trying to make it a class action suit, because it is on the internet saying if you've been at a Diddy Sean Combs party, give this number a call. So yes, they are doing it, and you're right, Wayne. The lawyers get the majority of the money because they said this law firm was in it, this law firm is in it. So by the time you get the money, it's pennies, and they got the millions and gone by their business. But hopefully,
Let me
just
just add some information to you for y'all though. They're not going to be able to do a civil suit where you're accusing somebody of violating you as a class action, because the person has the right to individually, because on that note, I could be in that class.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
And
That's
and,
true.
and I was never even nowhere near there. They can't do that. So no, they're giving that 1-800 number because they just want a whole bunch of individual cases. And with Busby, what he wants to do is what he was trying to do to Jay-Z. He wants to get checks from all of these other celebrities, so we'll put their name out there. So it can't be a class action shoot for that. I just wanted to give that information.
But
Diva,
with
what
all
I
due
said,
respect,
what
he's
I would
still
say,
gonna. I'm sorry. He's still gonna get the whoever the lawyer is still gonna get the majority of the money. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna say I had to file this paper, I had to file this paper. By the time you look at the breakdown of it, you still ain't gonna get as much as they're gonna get. But yet still, it's crazy. I mean, this 2024 have really really came in. Well, 2023 to 2024 because that's when Diddy stuff started. But that's this year really have came in and has been wiping these people out, taking these people down, telling truthful things about them. This coming up, They have had a hard 2024. But like you said, you do things in the dark, it's gonna come to the light. You think your past is gone, but that past always gonna come back and smack you in the face like a boomerang. That's why I say you just gotta be careful with comment and things you put out there, because it still will come back and get you. Somebody knows something as usual. But we're not victim shaming. We just wanted to come out in court and all this type of stuff, and hopefully we'll get a clarity on this and we'll be done. I hope in 2025 we got Diddy. But ooh, and then Sean, we 2026, hopefully we'll be done by this mess. I don't know, but it's ridiculous and it's sad. And I do want these victims, the real victims, to get their justice. That's all I got.
Thank you. Keisha, you're up.
I would say her case, like Katrina said, she has every right to come out, and say her piece. Maybe she has been feeling this for a long time and wants to feel vindicated by outing him. But with all the stuff that's going on, like you said, I mean, I think it was pretty irrelevant for her to come out because that's not even the main focus. But I think that Busby guy, he could be contacting old people from the past just to kind of tarnish his reputation, kind of like how they put out that video about Cassie and Diddy. So they're trying to find everything to get the public to turn against Jay-Z, because they see right now people are still kind of in his corner. The NFL is. So it's going to be harder for him to take Jay-Z down than it is for Diddy. So I think they're just trying to find everything they can to turn us against him.
I like that. I'm getting with you on that. Yes. Wayne, your thoughts?
This is getting old.
Yeah.
Who next?
Who
next?
Yeah.
So I mean, I miss the same old thing. So it's just old. It's just getting old to me.
Yeah, it's too much. It is. It's too much. Leo, your thoughts?
Right. It's a lot, and I do agree that I do feel like they are digging up the crates with all the young women back in the day that had grievances. We get ready to hear more and more. But this particular relationship with this young lady was at the time a consensual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Jay-Z was a jerk, is a jerk. He cheated on his wife. He openly admitted that.
Mm-hmm.
He has never, we can never say in past that Jay-Z, I'm going to say this as a person over 50 of a particular age. In those days, 20-year-old men did date 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds. That happens. We are trying to put 2024 standards on what happened in the early 90s, the mid 90s. That was something that actually in the late 80s, the 90s, that was a behavior that was not shunned upon. Nobody didn't look down on that behavior. It's coming back to haunt these moguls now for their bad behavior, and it was bad. But listen, this chick here, girl, that dog don't hunt. That's not a thing. Did he treat you horribly? Yes. Did you participate in it? Yes. Did you behave badly? Yes. Well, you sleeping with two different high-profile rappers all at the same time? Yes. Did they talk bad about you on the record? Yes. But they was always talking bad about women on the rap record. So I don't necessarily feel no sympathy for her. It is what it is. Also seek therapy, get over it. But maybe she caught a check, to come out and speak her piece. She had already wrote a book, y'all. So it's not like her voice was never out there. Her voice was already out there. Mm-hmm. She's chiming in on the chat. Maybe Busby and them called her, but nobody else did. And she was a consenting adult. And another thing, too, I thought about, the difference between Jay-Z and Sean Carter, Sean Combs, the difference between him and Puffy orchestrated these parties. He conducted these parties. That's not what Jay-Z did. And from everything that I can gather, I feel like, this is just me on my personal, he probably participated and engaged in it, but Puffy is up on some RICO charges. That's not what Jay-Z is getting ready to be up on. He's against public opinion that feels like he has participated in these parties with his good homeboy, Puff Daddy, for years and years, but they can't catch him on the same charges they catching Puffy on. It's not the same exact type of thing.
Mm.
And I feel like, yes, it is an orchestrated effort. We're going to hear a whole bunch of stories. I've been hearing the Foxy Brown came up this week. The Aaliyah came up this week. They even digging into crates to figure out how old Beyonce was when they first started kicking it. All of that came up this week as well. And I'm telling you, for somebody who was a grown person, when all these dudes came up, it was a regular behavior for 20-year-old dudes to deal with 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old. Nobody went to jail. It was no charges. The parents didn't come all up in an uproar. It was regular behavior. And when I say regular, I'm not saying it's right. I am only saying it happened like that then.
Woo. Woo, 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 woo.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Julius.
Take me back.
Julius, are you there? Oh, okay, we lost Julius. Go ahead, Keisha. Did you want to say something before you close out?
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Leo, she hit a chord with that, with the bringing the '90s into this decade. Because then I'm thinking, I'm like, even though if we think back to the '90s, Leo, you are completely right. But even if we think back to our grandparents, the '50s, the '40s, the '30s, the '20s, this has always been a pattern with men. Men, my grandmother, great grandma, these people were getting married at 14, 15. Though it was a different time. But it's a slow progression. This has been like ingrained in men over years. Like they've been dating Elvis, 13-year-olds, all these men. So you're right, Leo. A good point. They're bringing the '90s into a whole different decade and a whole different perspective of how people think now. Not saying that it's right, but I have people in my family back in the '40s and stuff where I look at the things and they were married at 14 and 15.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
This woman to me is not a victim. Her relations with him were consensual.
Mm-hmm.
And what he said, he mouthed off some things about her in a record. Oh, honey, let's call the firing squad. Let's call what's the famous name, Johnny Cochran. Miss me with that now. Y'all were both grown. Y'all both had a consensual relationship. Y'all were both doing the thing, and that's it. You wasn't held against your will. Now don't try to do the AKA me too and act like you were. Miss me with that.
Mm. Well, listen, guys, it's a lot. Rymir says he also has a sister by Jay who lives in. I never seen him hear him said that. He's saying that. Okay. But let me focus back. So let's just say this. It's a lot. We're gonna see how this Diddy and Jay-Z thing pans out. If you truly had been wronged, then you truly have been wronged, and you deserve justice. But if you just coming down and trying to jump on the bandwagon so you get a payday, you better be careful, because that payday may cost you more than you actually get. It may really cost you. So listen, guys, y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Thanks for being here for Trending Topics. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Choo.